Honorable Nana Amoako.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion moved by Minister Kenoforiata. Mr. Speaker, my other colleague, forget we are not doing estimates, but he has able to bring it all in. And let me remind him the 5,000 houses he's talking about. The loan was contracted in 2014 for 5,000 housing, but within 2 months, they have paid $46 million for the construction of this. After 2 months of this, they renegotiate the contract and reduce the amount to 2,500. The number of houses. Meanwhile, they have been paid 99.11% of the total cost. Now the contractor is telling us he can only deliver 1,020. That is the gross of the 5,000 he's talking about. The source is right here. This is contractor. If you want, our documents are here. I will table on you as well as done. You see, you are the source. Don't worry about the source. You create the door just to do that. You are worried. It's a minister's record is here, and if the contract is amended, are here. And if the table wants, I could table it once I'm done with my execution. So if you are talking about us not delivering on the housing, all this amount that you said you are going to deliver 5,000, only 1,024 out of $99 million that's supposed to be paid. You are paying the contractor, but it's only burden 1,024 for this. What does it say about the country we are living and the government that just passed left? There's a great loot and share. And then they will come and tell us the minister allocations are very small. But you forget to also note the ministry has been divided. We have the water and sanitation aspect of it, and they also have the works and housing. So if you add them up, the figure definitely will increase. So, Mr. Speaker, we all know that we are here to deliver service when it comes to water. And water is life. And as we are aware, Mr. Speaker, under the urban water, the ministry continue to expand on the project in the greater area, Greater Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast. And we also want to complete the water in Cape Coast water and SAG. Furthermore, the government also plans achieving SDG 6 on clean water and sanitation. Mr. Speaker, under the rural water, the ministry brought closure to the phase 1 of the sustainable rural water, and sanitation secured funding for the phase 2 of the project, which honorable members recall 2 weeks ago, we approved an ADA loan facility of 45.7 and additional financing to complete the phase 2. And on this loan, the content of it was provide affordable water and also community water. But they want to tell them like this project was just for sanitation purpose, which is not. It's for both water and sanitation. Mr. Speaker, under the phase 1, the ministry was able to provide about 755 people with safe water, exceeding the projected 600,000. And the phase 2, on the phase 2, the honorable members are supposed, to do 428 institutional toilets, plus some 50 small town water scheme and over 300 boreholes. So if you look at this, Ghana is what? Working again. But they were talking about we have to plant a seed. The seed have been planted, germinated, and grown. So now, once you have grown from your father's area, you have to work. So that's where we are moving towards. So Ghana is working again. It's perfect fit into this motion. So, Mr. Speaker, I was delighted that MPP administration is very conscious, also fighting the galamsey. And with this, we are able also to reduce the pollution level in our river bodies. And then we could see the water is getting cleaner as we go. Mr. Speaker, under the leadership of His Excellency Amoako Akufo-Addo, the Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources has been mandated to pursue persistent and dedicated effort through comprehensive sanitation strategy and sanitation campaign across the country. It has been estimated that about 4,500 jobs will be created. So this is Ghana working again. So when we say we are going to create jobs, definitely we're going to create jobs for everybody to have, including them. Mr. Speaker, on the initiative also involved the institution of the National Sanitation Brigades to enforce sanitation laws nationwide. Mr. Speaker, I believe this initiative would go a long way to reduce the level of uncleanliness we have experienced throughout Ghana. Mr. Speaker, this sanitation problem should be taken very seriously because it's something that we have started from previous governments, and it ends up with somewhere nothing to show for. So with the present government, under able leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo, we are going to institute some programs that will make sure the menace of this problem have been solved. Because we are here to make Ghana one of the cleanest cities in Africa, and if comparably in the world. Because filth could bring a lot of diseases, diarrhea, cholera, and etc. So if we are able to keep our environment clean, all these things will ease, and government will have a clean environment for us to be able to enjoy ourselves, and then we save a lot of money on that essence. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about the housing deficit, previous governments under Akufo, I think we started implementing some projects in Owa, Tambole, Kofodia, Kumasi, and Batiana, and Pong. All these things were started under previous MPP administration. But up to now, MPP's second phase has come back to complete these projects. And you know what overruns that will be. Because of negligence, or left it there to rot, because it's not their policy. So when people are talking about they have started something, they have done that, if they want a good policy about people caring about Ghanaians, then they should, the MPP government, they should be pleasing. The government has done very well, and we tend to do more. Because from what we have seen so far, when you have an economy that is very, very not strong and stable, to do anything costs money. And because these things are not done, especially when it comes down to our subsidized accommodations, the overruns get so high. So when it comes to a point when it allocate it to individuals, they can't afford to buy. It's no more than affordable. And it makes no sense for us to put up a building where we cannot occupy it, because we are trying to build this housing for low-income people, and up to now, they can't afford it. So what's the sense of going into this? So I plead with each government that comes to power, they should continue with where the other government left off. So that way, the overruns will come down and be able to deliver for good people of Ghana. With these few words, I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, any second.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to present second motion and also present your committee report. But for want of time, I will request the Hansa Department to capture the report as read in its entirety, whilst I read the introduction, observation, and conclusion. Yeah. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with the Article 179 of the Constitution and Standing Order 144 of the Standing Orders of the House, the 2018 annual estimates of the Ministry of Works and Housing was referred to the Committee of Works and Housing. This followed the presentation of the budget statement and economic policy of the government for the financial year ending 31st December 2018 by Honorable Minister for Finance Ken Oforiatta on Wednesday, 15th November. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister for Works and Housing, Mr. Samuel Atachia, or Honorable Samuel Atachia, and his deputies, Honorable Frida Prempe and Honorable Eugene Boache Adji, and the technical team from the Ministry of Works and Housing and Finance Assistant they constitute during the deliberations. Mr. Speaker, the committee is grateful to the Honorable Minister, the department ministers, and the technical team for the assistance. Mr. Speaker, the reference that we used to following the several on the reference documents during the committee's deliberations, the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, the Standing Orders of the Parliament of Ghana, and the budget statement and economic policy of the Government of Ghana for the year 2017 financial year. Mr. Speaker, the committee noted that non-release and delay of releasing approved funds continue to be a major challenge during the year under review. The committee noted that a party sum of 13,420,000 out of the total budgetary allocation of 108,887,000, which represents about 12.3%, has so far been released as of 31st October 2017. As a result of this, the ministry was unable to carry out most of its planned programs. Mr. Speaker, the committee knows that the non-release of budgetary allocations has been an annual ritual and needs to urgently be resolved to enable the Ministry of Works and Housing to fully deliver on its mandate. Mr. Speaker, the committee therefore reiterates its call to the Ministry of Finance to ensure that budgetary allocations for the year shall be fully released on time to ensure timely implementations of planned programs, and the committee also admonished the Ministry of Works and Housing to also ensure timely application for allocated funds to enable the Ministry of Finance to release funds timely. Mr. Speaker, another challenge that negatively affected the efficient performance of the ministry has generally been the inadequate budgetary allocation to the ministry over the years. The committee observed that there has been a continuous reduction in budget allocation to the ministry for years now. It's obvious that the most of the ministry's program and activities are capital intensive. And for the public programs and activities such as coastal protection works to prevent flooding and erosion problems, prevent and protect life and property. Mr. Speaker, improvement works to solve the perennial flooding and erosion and problem. The provision of affordable housing requires huge capital outlays, which cannot be adequately financed by the ministry's annual budget allocations alone. For instance, for the 20 fiscal year, the ministry has been allocated a total sum of 91,481,044, whilst actual requirement for effective implementation of its programs is estimated to be about 225 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, the committee noted that through the ministry was able to honor part of the indebtedness to contractors to the tune of 136,663,305 cedis. It still has 1,174,220,650 cedis, 59 pesos, outstanding as at 31st October 2017. This means the ministry's 2018 total allocation of 91,481.04, which is about 7.8% of its outstanding indebtedness, will not be able to settle this huge indebtedness, even though if no program or activities of the ministry is to be executed. Further, this huge indebtedness has the challenge, danger of financially crippling the contractors involved. The committee reiterates its appeal to the Ministry of Finance to allocate additional sources to enable the ministry to settle the huge indebtedness. Mr. Speaker, the committee was also informed that currently there are a lot of local and foreign investments interested in undertaking affordable housing projects across the country. The concern, however, has been the uncertainty on the return of their investment, since the current interest rate on mortgage financing, which is about 28%, remains unattractive to most middle-class earners. The Honorable Minister for Works and Housing, however, informed the committee that the Ministry of Finance had proposed, among other initiatives, partner with banks, pension trustees, security market players, to start the process of developing and defending the local mortgage and housing finance market to offer affordable housing mortgages at a subsidized interest to solve the problem. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the committee, after carefully examining the 2018 annual estimate of ministry and having regards to the strategic role of the ministry in the development drive of the country, and also the correction made on pages 11 and 12 of this report, recommends that the House to approve the sum of 99,489,045 Ghana cedis for the implementation of the Ministry of Works and Housing programs and activities for 2018 year. In addition, the committee reiterates its appeal to the Ministry of Finance to come with aid of the Ministry of Works and Housing by providing additional resources for the settlement of the huge outstanding financial commitment to the contractors. Respectfully move. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman of the committee.
I rise to present, second, the motion being able moved by Honorable Minister. Mr. Speaker, because of time, I request the Hansard Department to capture the report as read in its entirety. And also, I'll read the introduction, observation, and conclusion. Mr. Speaker, the 2018 annual budget estimates of the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources was referred to the Committee on Works and Housing for consideration and report in accordance with Article 179 of 1992 Constitution, Standing Order 1404 and 180. This followed the presentation of the budget and the economic policy statement of the government by Honorable Minister of Finance, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, for the financial ending year 31st December 2018 on Wednesday, 15 November 2017. Mr. Speaker, the committee met with the Honorable Minister of Sanitation and Water, Mr. Honorable Joseph Kofi Adda, his deputy, Honorable Patrick Boama, and technical team for the ministry to discuss the estimates officially from the budget unit of the Ministry of Finance, and also attend upon the committee and assisted the meeting with further clarification of some of the items and figures in the estimates. The committee is grateful to the Honorable Minister and Honorable Deputy Minister and the officials of for the assistance. Mr. Speaker, the reference point that served as a reference document during the committee deliberations were the 1992 Constitution of Ghana and the standing orders of the Parliament of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, the committee noted that aside employees' compensation and donor contribution, that respectively has 75 and 95.27 disbursement rates, the ministry suffered from the inadequate and untimely release of the budgetary allocations. Mr. Speaker, another issue that was of great concern for the committee in the high percentage rate of 95.27 of the disbursement for donor fund component of the allocation. Though the committee appreciates the high rate of disbursement, it holds the view that financing an important sector like water and sanitation should be locally or nationally driven. The committee realized that any negative global challenges, such as donor fatigue or financial crisis, will have an adverse effect on the performance of the sector. Mr. Speaker, the committee recommends to the government to give priority to this important sector by increasing the GOG allocation and also ensure the full and timely release of budgetary allocation. Mr. Speaker, the committee also noted that though the ministry is new and still in the process of developing and formalizing its structures, it chopped a number of successes worth mentioning. Notably, among them are the successful launching of the National Sanitation Campaign, the evacuation of the unauthorized dumping site in the Gama area, development of sanitation communications strategy to spearhead the National Sanitation Campaign, as well as the development of the draft policy for the establishment of the National Sanitation Authority. Mr. Speaker, the committee believes that the above initiatives, together with others such as Sanitation Brigade, when fully operationalized, have the potential of increasing the national sanitation coverage. Mr. Speaker, the committee was informed that as a result of the national campaign against illegal mining and the cooperation and collaboration of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, there has been gradual improvement in water quality in the Pra, Tano, Brim, Ofin, and Ankobra rivers, which serve as a major source of water supply in the country. Mr. Speaker, the committee loves this development and hopes that there will be continuous support, collaboration, and cooperation of all stakeholders in finding a licensed solution to the menace. It is the conviction of the committee that continuous improvement of the water quality will help reduce the drain on the limited resources of the institution responsible for the production of the water supply and also increase the economic lifetime of the treatment plants and prevent them from premature.
We have the report.
Report. Okay.
So
in the conclusion,
come to the conclusion.
If raised some, so in the conclusion, the committee, after careful examination of the budget estimate, and also having regards to the correction made on page 10 of this report, recommends the House to approve the sum of 183,577 Ghana cedis to enable the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources to implement its program for the 2018 financial year, respectively submitted. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.